This is the Scoot on the Air YouTube channel. I'm Scoot. Thank you for being with us. If you haven't become a subscriber, I invite you to subscribe. It's free, and we will give you a notice every time we post something on the channel. And we still have plans for this channel, so just hang in there. And at one point, I'm going to do something for all of the subscribers. So there will be a benefit to subscribing. And again, it's free. Hey, let me start with this. A former Republican National Committee staff member is going to prison for 12 years. What's the charge? Child pornography. You know, it would really be beneficial if Republicans would stop acting like they're the moral party, because so many Republicans get caught doing immoral things. The Republican Party is no more moral, they're no more godlike than anybody else. And it's hypocritical for them to go around bragging about we're the God Party when you've got people like this person, and there are others, involved in child porn. Look, Democrats are involved in child porn too, but Democrats don't have a tendency to run around and say, hey, we're the moral party. You know, vote for us is a vote for God. Bullshit. You know, I mean, you're sinners just like everybody else. Okay, so Kid Rock opened up his 2022 tour with a video message from ex-president Donald Trump. Now, this satisfies the millions and millions of conservatives in this country that love it when rockers, love it when performers bring politics into their shows. I mean, there are conservatives who just, they can't wait for that political message at the concert. They go to a concert, they love the music, they just can't wait for that political message. I hear it all the time on my radio show on WWL in New Orleans. Conservatives calling up saying, "Oh man, it was so great! I went to a concert and so was talking about Joe Biden, was talking about politics." They love that. They hate it. I love when we have the opportunity to call out the political hypocrites. Now, as a human being, I'm sure there are times that I'm hypocritical. I really try not to be. But some people don't even try. Some people are just intrinsically hypocrites and they don't give a shit. I get so many calls on my radio show when a performer talks about politics during a concert that I hope those very same people are upset when a conservative like Kid Rock brings politics into his concert. If you're against politics being part of rock concerts or any concert for that matter, then you got to be against Ted Nugent doing it. You got to be against Kid Rock doing it. Just because it's the person you like doesn't mean, in theory, that this is an acceptable thing. Now, I don't care. I mean, I kind of expect it. You know, a lot of rock music has messages. A lot of music has messages in it. This has been the case since the 60s. Maybe before that, but I can't reference that far back. But since the 60s, rock music has been part of concerts. And songs and music has been used to convey messages, political messages, to express political ideology. So it shouldn't be a big deal that some performers bring their politics to the concert. I understand. I get it. You go to be entertained. But performers are human, and some of them just can't help but use the stage to express their political views. I'm okay with that. You know, if I don't like what's being said, I ignore it. Now, Bruce Springsteen doesn't do it often, but Bruce Springsteen is a known liberal. He's extremely liberal. And think of all the conservatives that love the music of the boss. He might slip in and add something. He might slip in and add something about his political views, and it's going to be liberal. So, look, I understand it, and I know that there are many. I want to be straight about this. There are many Republicans, many conservatives, who don't like any politics involved with performers. But I find it interesting that I don't get the bitching and complaining when it's Ted Nugent or when it's Kid Rock. I hear the bitching and complaining when it's a liberal talking about Biden or talking about Pelosi or Schumer. If you were against liberals doing it, then you have to be against Republicans doing it. Or you're just a typical political hypocrite. And one of the things that I like to do here on YouTube, and one of the things that I like to do on my radio show on WWL, is I like to expose political hypocrisy. Some people are hypocritical and they don't even know it. There are some people who don't care that they're hypocritical. But political hypocrisy hurts us as a country because if you can't see what's fair, then that's a problem. And if you want to call out performers for bringing politics into their concerts, then you need to call out Kid Rock for opening his show with a message from former President Donald Trump. Here's what the message said. Donald Trump says, "Hello, everyone. I love you all. I know you're having a great time at the Kid Rock concert tonight. Quite frankly, he's amazing. All of you in attendance are truly the backbone of our great country. Hardworking, God-fearing, rock and roll patriots." Trump goes on to say, Kid Rock's real name is Robert Ritchie, and Trump calls him Bob, meaning Kid Rock. He says, "Bob is truly one of the greatest entertainers of our time. Not the best golfer by any means. His golf game could use a little work, but a great, great entertainer. And that's why you're there. Let's all continue to love one another, fight for our God given freedoms, and most of all, let's make America rock again." And then he puts on a Make America Great Again hat that says, "Make America Rock Again." I don't know whether you've noticed, but America's been rocking for a long time, and America is going to continue to rock. Um, the other thing is I want to point out is this reference to the, the conservatives at the Kid Rock concert, the Trump supporters at the Kid Rock concert, calling them hardworking, God-fearing rock and roll patriots. There are many liberals in this country who are hardworking, God-fearing rock and roll patriots. This is not something that's owned by conservatives. And I think it's important that we set the record straight on this. There are some liberals, some progressives, who want things handed to them. There are some Republicans who are lazy. And they also, in other ways, in different ways, live off the government. So it's on both sides. Now, in general, there are more liberals that want handouts from the government. I get that. But man, don't make it seem as if, only only conservatives are hardworking, God-fearing rock and roll patriots, because that's total bullshit. I mean, I'm a radical moderate. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I can't stand either party. I work my ass off. I have since I was 15 years old. And I fit the category of a rock and roll patriot, a God fearing rock and roll patriot. So that's not something that's confined for just conservatives. So I think it's important that we point out hypocrisy, and maybe maybe you don't know you're being hypocritical. So take time to notice whether or not you are hypocritical, because it's this hypocrisy that hurts us as a country. And I know, look, sometimes you're going to slip up, but try to be consistent. If you're for something when it comes to conservatives, then you got to be for the same thing when it comes to liberals. You don't have to like liberals, but I mean, let's be fair. If you're against something when it comes to conservatives, then be against something when it comes to liberals as well. And there is hypocrisy on both sides. But I just found it interesting that Kid Rock opens up the show with a video message from former President Donald Trump. If a performer had done that and opened the show with a message from former President Barack Obama or even the current President Joe Biden, there are conservatives who would have been going ballistic, bitching and complaining that you shouldn't do that. But when it comes to Kid Rock and Trump, there's silence. Says a lot.